Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Av Files. Of course, I'm your host, Av, and I'm
What's
here
going
with none
on?
other than Daniel of Aries and the Nation, Unplugged Nation, Warpath Nation, whatever nation,
Yeah,
Last Nation, First Nation,
Always
all of
Nation,
them.
but not Window Nation. That's trademarked.
Yeah, we can't use that. You have to bleep that out.
Yeah, I had to bleep that out. They got to it
What's
before
up,
I
man?
could. Man,
Yeah.
it's it's all good. Always good to do this. Been a hell of a week, man. I hope everyone watching and listening definitely love to hear feedback from you guys on that. Um,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
dude, love to be here. This is the best part of the week. Is just talking and listening to what you have concocted for us today.
Yeah. No, yeah. So we got we're gonna go with two stories today. So hopefully doesn't run too long. And hopefully everyone sticks around to listen to them. We're gonna talk
Yep.
about the Duende. Of course, these are coming from the Spotify vaults of way back
Yep.
when.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk about the
Full.
Duende, and then our second story will be of the ghost of Fukushima.
Yes. Yes, that one. Fukushima and the Duendes. Man, I missed
The
those. Some
Duendes or
part of me
Duende?
I think it's Duende or Duendo. I don't know. I feel like when I say Duende, I feel like Mega
Duende.
Mind.
Then why do I feel so melancholy?
Um Yeah, man. Let's dive into it. Duendes, man. We haven't really touched on it for a minute now, and it's good to refresh some of this stuff. I'm glad that we're unvaulting some of the Spotify vaulted stuff.
Because we definitely have new followers, and thank you everybody for
Yes,
following. Please
yes,
continue to subscribe. Please continue to interact with us. Leave comments, hit the like button, do all that
yep,
YouTube stuff that
yep.
you're supposed to do.
All that
You
stuff.
know, yeah.
Insert phrasing here.
Insert what?
Yeah, insert phrasing. That's it. That's all we want. My God. Yes. So,
So
Duendes.
the Duende.
The
Um,
Duendes.
the Duendes. So in today's episode, we'll delve into a mysterious and unexplained creature, but we're going to try our best to get some answers, which I know we have very few of. We don't have very many of those. And
No.
this is probably something not many of you have heard of before, but has been fascinating people all over the world for centuries. We're going to try to figure out its origin, the history of this creature, and some sightings. What we're talking about is the cryptid called the Duende. Now, is this really a
Yes.
cryptid? Is this a cryptid? Do you believe it's a cryptid? I think it's been labeled as a cryptid.
It, I feel like people see weird shit, and when stuff moves fast and or quickly, your mind tends to play tricks on you.
Right.
Is it is it is it a cryptid? Who knows? Is Bigfoot a cryptid? Who knows? I've never seen a duende, so I'm not necessarily. I don't consider myself a duende theorist, but it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one because of
But
how
as cryptids go, would you put it in the category of Bigfoot, Loch Ness, Mothman?
I would, because I would still you know what? I'm not gonna put it as a cryptid. I want to put it under like fantastical type being, like a gnome
Okay.
or a dwarf or a hobgoblin or or a troll or something like that.
Speak of the devil!
I
So
want to
you'd
put
put
it
it
in
more
that
like the
category.
fairy type, or
Yeah,
not fairy,
that
but I
thing.
guess like fairy type category.
Yeah, like that. I would, because it's not a creature. It's like a humanoid being thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm putting it. No, I wouldn't say necessarily cryptid.
Okay.
So
I think I'm pretty much with you on that too, because I'm not sure if I'd consider it a cryptid. You
yeah,
know,
I'm not like,
uh,
oh shit, what was that? I'm like, that's a small, human, or is that I'm not gonna be like, what was that thing? So,
Right.
yeah.
So now, in case you're not sure what a cryptid is, here are just a few examples. You have the Bigfoot, the Yeti, and the infamous Chupacabra. And the Duende is said to originate from Spain and has been prominent parts of Spanish folklore since the 17th century. The word Duende comes from Spanish word dueño de casa, which translates to owner of the house or head of household. And the word Duende means goblin. It's believed that the Duende is a protector of homes and the guardian of nature. Duende are believed to be forest spirits that inhabit the trees and forests of the region. They are said to have a very powerful connection to nature and are often portrayed as protectors of the environment. The Duende is a small, mythical, and often referred to as a supernatural creature that is said to inhabit many parts of the world, especially from Latin American folklore. The Duende is a humanoid figure with variations from the Ibero-Americas. Those are regions in Central and South America where the prominent language is Portuguese and Spanish, and also in the Filipino cultures. In the Filipino cultures, it is believed that the Duende dwell in rocks and caves, trees, and unvisited and dark parts of a house. Also found in anthills and termite mounds.
Yeah. Anthills and termite mounds.
It's kind of a stretch, right?
It is. It is. Well, I mean, it's just like, so they're all-terrain cryptids. They're like, you can find them in rocks, in trees, in anthills, and in dark parts of your house.
Right, little corners of the house that nobody visits, but everybody walks there. I don't believe that there's any part of a house that like nobody goes past.
I think I have one. I think I have one. That's like the sump pump room.
Like you never go in there.
I never go in there. So who knows? Maybe there's a little duende hooking up to the sump pump, like turning it up, like turning it on,
cranking it up every.
But then again, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of odd, right? Like,
yeah, I just think I do believe that I believe more that if it was a real creature, that it would be hiding in caves and in the woods more than in the corner of somebody's house.
Yeah. You're talking about the exterior outdoors duende, not the rural suburban duende.
No.
Because I could see a duende living in like a Walmart or a Home Depot.
We're talking about feral duendes.
Feral duendes.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with domesticated. Not domesticated
Right.
duendes with little
not
like
domesticated
CVS
duendes.
points. Yeah.
No. It's like no. Feral duendes, you know, like the old lady leaves the dish outside for the cats. They leave the little dish outside for the duendes and they come and eat it in the middle of the night. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, it's a huge range. Where can you find them? Yes.
Everywhere.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, and to find it in an anthill or termite mound, I think, like I said, I think that's kind of a stretch. I can't believe that something is going to live with termites and ants,
or in an old ant hill. Like, hear me out. All right, if this is all like Spanish culture, like, right, they have different ants out there, I guess, because the ant hills around us, like, you're talking about like microscopic, like Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, like, they're gonna be like this big.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like this big.
And if they're that big, I've probably accidentally stepped on them duendes. We never know. I'm thinking a duende is usually maybe from squirrel size to New York rat size. Like that. New York rat size
is pretty big too.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's, or a capybara if we're talking exotic animals.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that. I just wanted to impress people with my knowledge of Amazon creatures. So
rodents.
Yes. All right. Cool. Yeah. So I don't know. Anthill, dead. Who's ever looking at an anthill like, oh my god, did you see that? That was a fucking duende.
Yeah, like you walk by and you look down at the animal and you just say, "What is that?" And it's like this fucking big.
Yeah,
You're
you're
like,
like,
"What is that? I've never seen that before."
yeah, exactly. So no, I doubt it. So okay, cool.
But
But
what about the
caves
anthills in
like
like Brazil
Brazil.
or
Oh
the,
yeah,
you know, when they have like
the
the real big
huge,
ones that
the
are like
huge ones.
my size. Yeah.
Yeah, the termite mounds. That's
Oh,
different
they're termite
though.
mounts. Those are in Africa
Yeah,
though, aren't they?
yeah. I have no idea. Probably. I mean, the
Uh,
Amazon has some weird shit too. Like it could be there too.
look,
I'm just
here it is.
saying.
Here it is. Just people write in the comments, where are those huge termite mounds found? I don't know. You tell us.
No, I don't know. Yep.
I think
Let me
it's
know.
Africa.
Oh my god. So does that mean Fern Gully is a documentary about duendes?
I guess it could be. It could be.
Oh
Actually,
my god.
it might mean that the Smurfs are the actual first series about
Duendes.
duendes. Yeah, because they're little
Oh
creatures,
my
people, right?
god.
I
Oh
just
my
thought of it.
god, yeah.
Smurfs are duendes,
Pretty much.
right?
Pretty much. But in Spanish,
So
they're pitufos, right? I'm not scared of no pitufo. Like, I don't know.
close.
Pitufos. I'm not scared of pitufos.
I mean, I guess
Duendes are
I don't
different.
know. I tell you what, though, for everybody that's been watching the Smurfs since they were little, if you've ever watched the Smurfs, I hated the Smurfs anyway. But yeah, you've been watching Duendes.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Spoiler alert. They're wrong.
Right. So anyway, so the duende is a small or short creature. It's said to be as small as a flower and can be as tall as a human, sometimes taller. In some other regions, it's said that they are people say they look very similar to a dwarf or gnome or leprechaun type that has a tall pointy hat or even a top hat. And they are said to be very mischievous or even have a malevolent nature. They're also known for their trickery and pranks, and it is said they really like to play practical jokes on humans. However, it is also known to be benevolent and helpful to those who respect nature. They
That's
sound like assholes.
wild. Yeah, they sound like they're bipolar. Like yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to begin. They're small as a flower or bigger than a human. All right, guys. Do you know a duende, guys? Put in the comments. Who do you suspect? Who do you suspect to be a duende?
Who could be a duende? Yeah, it's like have you seen him? Yeah, he's about this tall.
Yeah, this tall.
You know, from
Yeah.
age 20 to like 60,
Yeah.
between 80 and 400 pounds. Yeah, somewhere in between.
I mean, I'm putting in my vote. I think I might know one, Al Gore, but that's it. That's it. No, no one else. But yeah, they so okay, they're all about the nature, which is funny if they live in houses, which doesn't
Well,
make
they
sense
should
to
live
live in houses.
outside.
Yeah, they
They
should
should
live
just live
outside.
outside. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
because
they're
they'll
saying
just
they're
get
gonna,
angry if they're inside.
yeah, because then you're ruining the environment.
Yeah.
Use air conditioning, electricity. Just ruin the environment, right?
Yeah, they're just in the dark corner where no one visits. I'm so mad.
So basically, they just pout in the corner this whole time because you have AC.
You have a manic depressed duende in the basement, just hating life.
What a dumbass.
Yeah.
Now the duende isn't just limited to Spain. It has also been a prominent part of folklore in other Latin American countries, including Mexico, Guatemala, and Colombia. In these countries, the duende is known by different names such as El Duende or El Duendito. In some cultures, the duende is believed to be a supernatural being that can control weather, bring good luck, or cause harm to those who disrespect nature. So he has power. So in some places, he has powers.
So he's like a Hispanic, or they're like Hispanic leprechauns?
Yeah, duendes.
They're like Hispanic leprechauns that love the environment.
Yeah. Like really love the environment.
I don't. I'm the more I think about this, well, maybe that's the problem. I shouldn't just think about it. F it. They are the guardians of the rainforests, I guess.
I mean, pretty much.
That live in houses. Cool. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, how do I feel like if you take the duende out of living in houses, right, and just keep it in the rainforest and stuff, I am going to be more susceptible to believe in something like that, because there's shit in the rainforest that we discover every day, right? We
Yeah,
like
I mean, there's
like
creatures. There's creatures
yeah,
in there that we probably think are aliens that have been living in there for centuries.
yeah,
You know, or there's probably even people that are living there now that we've never seen, that haven't seen anybody for hundreds of years, and
yeah.
they're
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what I
how they
think.
live like
I
that, but
like once you talk about rainforest and stuff, then a lot of stuff kind of makes sense. It's when you
mhm,
have like the introduction of like people and houses and stuff. Like, I don't think so. I
mhm.
think it's more likely if you're in the rainforest and you see some weird shit, it's probably going to be some weird shit.
There's gonna be
You
some
know?
weird shit.
Yeah, you're not like going in the basement and getting some like something out of storage. I'm like, one day, like he's like listening to
Right.
fucking what's her face, Adele in the corner. I'm so sad about the environment. Like, Jesus Christ.
He might
So
be. I don't know. That'd be very
uh,
depressing.
it would be. It would be. And he would have to come up and ask me for my Wi-Fi password. Like, why? How are you listening to Adele? You know? Oh man,
That'd be creepy though.
it really would. It really would be.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
So there have been many sightings of the duende around the world over many years. In Mexico, people have reported seeing a small creature with a hat and red coat, which matches the description of other duende sightings in Mexico. In Guatemala, there have been reports of a creature with large eyes and big nose that resembled a duende. In Colombia, it is often described as a small creature that is covered in fur and has a long tail.
which
Uh,
is a monkey, Colombians.
Someone put a hat and a coat on a monkey and let it go through the forest,
It
and
has
everyone thought it
fur
was
and
a
a long
duende,
tail.
and sat
I'm
there
gonna.
eating a banana.
Yeah, like, what? That's not a duende. That is a monkey. 1,000,000% misrepresented. Some old lady was like, "Oh,
Right,
that's
lies.
100% a duende," and they're like, "Chill out, abuela. Put your glasses on." It's a
Yeah,
fucking monkey. So
it's a little monkey. Those, what are they? Spider
yeah,
monkeys or something?
yeah,
Something like
probably.
that. So some people believe that the duende is just a figment of people's imagination, while others believe that it is a real creature that lives in the wilderness. There have been many theories about the origin of the duende. Some people believe that it is a result of people's fascination with nature, while others believe that it's a creature that has been around for centuries. So so far, the duende doesn't seem so bad. He's just some small creature that resembles a gnome or a leprechaun who wears a tall, pointy hat with a long beard and tail. Sometimes is reported, or people say they see him with a tail. Not all the time.
Yeah.
And he wears a small coat, which to me seems kind of funny. So there's this little creature running around with a coat, and was he like flashing people or something? I mean,
Yeah, I
just
don't
weird.
know. Just I don't get it. Why? Who? Small hat and coat. That means there's a duende haberdashery where they go to make
Right.
hats, and a duende tailor.
There's a tailor. So they're like the
That
Smurfs.
or for my folk across the pond, the borrowers.
Right,
They are like
right,
the
right.
borrowers.
The borrows. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, but they don't collect knickknacks and stuff and live in the walls. I don't know if they do. I don't know. Maybe this could be like
Maybe
a
they
shared
do.
thing. Maybe the borrowers are just like duendes that went to Cambridge.
The smart ones.
Yeah, the smart ones that went to like a proper university.
they're fully developed duendes.
Oh,
Their frontal lobe is developed fully.
yeah,
All right,
a
cool.
little bit more. Yeah, yeah. All right.
uh,
Jesus.
So, uh, so he respects nature and is helpful and likes to play tricks on humans. But what about the other side of the duende, the darker side of duende? It
Ooh.
said, yeah, it said that the mothers would tell their children, "Beware, the duende is out there, waiting for the right moment. El duende will take you away in the middle of the night to his cave in the middle of the forest. He'll keep you there, and no one will know because you'll be deep in the forest where nobody can hear you scream." That's traumatizing to a child. Now, that sounds like something no one, let alone a child, would want to run into. According to legend, this elf-like creature either dwelled deep in the forest or lived within the walls of a child's room. It is said that when the duende had the opportunity, he would lure children deep into the forest and to his cave, never to be seen again. Sometimes he would come out of the walls and clumsily try to clip a sleeping child's toenails off, but would sometimes cut the whole toe off.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think that
That's not an oops.
that is not that's absolutely terrifying, but I see, I don't know, that's terrifying. That to me is terrifying.
It is terrifying. Yeah.
But at the same time, something that possibly lives in an anthill is maybe not going to be able to pick up my child. I am just, and then, whatever. That's weird too. That's very weird. They clip their toenails, and then by accident, clip the toe off. Yeah, that's a little bit. That's a little bit extreme. So they're not surgical with it. So I'm feeling okay. They're clumsy as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Yes,
clumsy
they're
because
clumsy. They're clumsy.
because they're out of their environment. They're not in the rainforest. They're in someone's room.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's yeah. It's they're just fuck clumsy.
I wonder though, like all these stories and myths have like their seed of origin, like where they all started. So it had to have been a shared story where some kid was drug out of his bed at night by something like monkeys or whatever have you, and never
Like the
seen
Wizard of
again.
Oz when the witch like has all the monkeys come out and like try to take
Yeah.
people away.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know where the origin of this like old wives' tale started. But I mean, because that's creepy as shit. Like you're like, oh, sleep tight. Don't let the duende accidentally cut your toe off. Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's terrifying.
So it's no wonder the duende is feared, and after all, the duende should be viewed as an evil entity. Well, in some cases, mothers would say to their child, if you ever get lost and need help, El Duende will be there to help guide you to safety. So the same creature that is viewed as evil and or mischievous by some is considered a good spirit who protects lost hikers and children in the forest. In 1961, a researcher named Ivan Sanderson wrote that a junior forester officer had described in great detail two little creatures that he had suddenly noticed quietly watching him on several occasions near the foot of the Mayan mountains. But it was said later what he had described seemed to match the description of spider monkeys, but it didn't match the actual size of the species. Interestingly enough, Belize is home to several primate species such as the spider monkey and the howler monkey. Sanderson also stated that the Mayans believed in a deity that looked like a small man wearing a big hat roaming around the forest. These beings would supposedly come out of hiding and would leave gifts in front of like the temple. Some stories said that if you were strolling through the forest and all of a sudden you heard whistling, that was a warning to hide or get out of the forest as fast as you could, or be lost in the forest forever. But it's also known that if you ever hear whistling in the forest, if you're ever out in the forest, you don't whistle back.
Yeah.
You don't go to the whistle, to the noise, whoever's whistling. You don't yell out, "Hey, what's up? Hi," or anything like that. You go the opposite direction and get the fuck out of there.
Yep. 100%. Because you're gonna usually hear whistling when the whole forest is quiet, and a quiet forest is a bad forest. Get out of there,
Right.
always.
Right. So yeah,
s-
I mean that's just yeah.
It's protocol.
Whenever
It's
yeah, it's
protocol.
protocol. So if you ever so if it gets like super quiet and you actually can hear whistling in the forest, that's bad. That's
Yeah.
bad.
But that's
Just for
okay.
all you
So wait
hikers
a
out
minute.
there.
Wait a minute. So that means, is it Mayans? Is it the Mayans left Mayan ruins? Like the
It
Duendes left.
said that there was. It said that the Mayans had a deity that looked like a small man wearing a hat and that would
What?
like be in the roam around the forest or the jungles
I
of where they were
wonder. I
at.
wonder if it was like depicted as like a top hat, because then it's like we answered it. Then they exist.
Right,
Because
right.
Mayans don't have top hats.
No, they don't. But you know, it all is an interpretation. You know what I
Very
mean?
true. Very true. But you
So
know
you
what
see
though?
something as a top hat, I see something as a just a big fat head.
Yeah. Now you know who did have a top hat is one of the Lost Boys in Peter Pan.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I'm just letting you know. Not confirmed yet. I will have to watch Hook again. So,
But it's possible.
it's possible. So that's what my thing is. There's a Peter Pan Duende like a bridge somewhere. I'll find it.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna build that bridge.
Yep.
So it said that the duende had no thumbs. So from stories, it said children can escape the duende by hiding their thumbs and making the duende think that they are related to them in some way. So really, it was a way to scare kids, a type of warning to children who misbehave or don't listen to the parents. You don't want to listen. The duende will come and get you in your sleep. You keep misbehaving, and the duende is watching and waiting to take you to his cave deep in the forest. Let's look at some of the other theories. One is about the origin, that it is a creature that was created by the indigenous people of Latin America. They believe that the duende was a spirit that protected the forest and animals that lived there. They believe that if you respected the nature, the duende would bring them good luck and prosperity. Another is that the duende is a creature that was created by the Spanish. The Spanish brought many traditions and customs with them when they colonized Latin America. It is possible the duende is one of the things they brought with them. There have been many stories and legends about the duende throughout history. In one story, there was a group of children that stumbled onto a duende in the woods. The duende played tricks on the children, but eventually he led them to a treasure that was hidden in the forest. Another story, a man disrespected nature and was cursed by the duende and turned him into a tree. The duende has been a fascinating creature and has been part of folklore for centuries and probably part of folklore for many more centuries to come. Whether it's a real creature stalking kids in their rooms at night or trying to clip toenails and cutting toes off instead, or just roaming the forest, whistling, playing tricks on people and dragging them into their caves, maybe even protecting lost hikers or children, helping them out in time of need, protecting forests and nature, it is clear that Duende has captured the imagination of people from around the world and will continue to for many years to come.
And that is probably the only thing it could capture because it has no opposable thumbs.
Right. It can't really hold on to anything.
Hence the clumsiness when cutting off kids' toes. Like, how does it do it? How does it do it with no? And how do you hide your thumbs? You're like, I'm one of you. Like,
that's pretty good. You can go like this.
Yeah. But I can't.
Just don't go like this.
Hey,
just kidding.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of 8.
Oh,
yeah. Oh man, no. Okay, that's just. Now, hear me out though. If you are talking about things in the jungle, 100% feasible, because there's footage of this little thingy human chasing or getting chased by motorbikes, or not chased by. The guys were on like motorcycle or dirt bikes down like this trail. I don't know where they were. I want to say Thailand or something. And then you could see this creature jump out in front of the like the dirt bike and run super fast and just disappear. Like that stuff that stuff I feel like 100% exists, because they're
Mm-hmm.
always finding skeletal remains of like uh, pygmies that used to live in like different locations. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and it makes kind of sense. Think about the opposite side of the coin. If there were giants, there were probably tiny little people that probably just didn't make it out of the cycle of evolution because they were
No, I
small.
mean there has to be, right? It's always that. I always go back to the thing. If there's good, there's got to be bad. Tall, there's short,
Yep.
angels, demons. It's just
It's
always, it has to be.
balance, you
Yes,
know.
there has to be
Eh,
some kind of balance. There's always an in between. So,
So I definitely what we know that pygmy people exist. You know, people of shorter stature exist in the
mhm,
in the vast expanses of the jungle. We know that, and they're not like these tall Nordic tribe of indigenous people in the rainforest. No, they're short.
mhm,
They're very short. That's just the environment. So think about some secluded, dark area of the rainforest. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, 100%, I'm sure. I'm thinking those things in the mummy, like the mummy, like Scorpion King, like those little
mhm.
things that would blow darts in the jungle scene.
Those are pygmies, aren't
Those,
they?
yeah, that's what I would think are duendes and stuff like that. Like I would be like, all
Yeah.
right, I believe that somewhere, someplace,
Mhm.
possibly. And
Right.
then and then if it's in the jungle and you're like, well, why haven't we discovered bones? Well, because bones don't exist in the jungle. Things eat everything.
No. Yeah.
Things
Something's gonna eat it.
decay.
Something's gonna get to it.
Yeah.
It's like 10 times faster out there.
Yeah.
It's
And you
crazy.
go and if you go into the jungle looking for something, you are not going to find it because you are the one out of place and things in the jungle know you're there before you miles before you get to where you're supposed to be. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not quiet in the forest for things that live in the forest. So if it's a jungle setting, I
Makes sense.
100% if I 100% believe this through and through. If it's a jungle, I'm like, yeah, anything goes. Anything fucking goes in the jungle. But house stuff, I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. I can't get on board with the Hispanic gnomes in
Yeah.
my
No.
basement.
No. Yeah. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but more like, nah, probably not. I just think if they're a creature, they're just like a woodland type creature, like you said, troll or you know, in that fairy category, not a
Yeah.
cryptid, and yeah.
I feel like it was just a way to scare kids to behave. Like all the stories before. The old wives' tales, and that's where that belongs, is there. Just a story to control kids at
Hmm.
night, to kind of keep them in bed.
Right.
That's it.
Hmm.
That's it. Um,
Right.
but yeah. Because I
Cool.
take these kind of
Cool.
sightings a lot less credible than, like, I know this is going to sound crazy, than like Bigfoot sightings, where the person is absolutely scared
Hmm.
shitless. Like something scared them shitless. They're like, I don't know what I saw. I saw something that was huge. Rather than, I think I saw it one day. Why? Something moved over there in the basement. Like, it could have been a rat, could have
Right.
been a
It could have
spider,
been
could
like
have
a
been
yeah.
anything. So,
Yeah.
anyway, man, that's nuts. Duendes.
That's the
Small as a
duendes.
flower,
So
taller than a human.
so speaking of duendes, good segue. We're
Yep,
gonna
yep,
talk
good one.
about we're gonna go into our second story. We're gonna talk about ghosts. So I don't think
Gotta
we've talked
love
about
some
ghosts in a while.
ghosts. Oh, it's been a
Yeah.
while. It's been a while since
Has
the
it been a
uh
while? It has been, hasn't it?
the white woman, the white ghost, the
Yeah, yeah,
white.
yeah.
Help me out. Not the white woman. We talked about a white woman once.
We
No,
talked about it. She was a white woman.
there's a woman in white, not a white woman.
Hmm.
That's not the important part of the story. Okay, guys? Woman in white, not white woman.
Not a white woman. A woman wearing white. But right, yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't had many ghosts, but on here we're
Mm-mm.
gonna go ahead and go down this one again. Do this one again.
Hell
Again, it's
yeah.
from the Spotify Vault.
Oh, yes.
Um, it is the ghost of Fukushima. So imagine you live by the ocean. It's about 2:45 in the afternoon, and it's just another regular day. Depending on where you live, people are at work, kids are in school, moms are probably at the grocery store getting things for dinner later that night. You're probably talking with a coworker or maybe even a loved one. Then, without warning, a magnitude 9.1 earthquake hits just off the coast. You feel it, and it lasts for 6 minutes. You're frozen with fear as you watch the buildings sway. And it's not like a, I think some people think like, oh, they probably just lean back and forth. No, there's reports of buildings like really like swaying, look like
Yeah.
trees in the wind. It's just
It's
scary as
a
fuck.
9 point what earthquake?
9.1.
That's insane. That's ground opening up. That's ripples in the road. That's cars
Yeah,
just sliding
that's
all over the place.
it's actually crazy because you think about like in the movies they always show like the ground going doing waves almost like in the ocean, and that's pretty much
Mhm.
it's almost like what it does. It just literally comes up and down like that, and just oh, buildings are in the way, people, doesn't matter what's there, it's moving it, it's swallowing it
Yeah.
up, you know. um
Yeah, that's nuts.
so
dude.
yeah, and the roads rip open, but this is just the beginning. Almost an hour later, a 14-meter or 46-foot tsunami unleashed by the earthquake slammed into the coast, washing everything in its path away. Starting with the boats tied off, then houses by the coast, and moving inward and tearing down any homes inland and buildings in its path. And that's what happened on March 11th, 2011 in Fukushima, Japan. But this is just the beginning of our story. Most people have heard of the mega earthquake that hit Fukushima, Japan in 2011, how it was one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. Quick recap of what happened there goes like this. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake hit Fukushima on March 11th at 2:45. The quake struck off the coast of Honshu Island about an hour after the tsunami hit, destroying everything and killing anyone in its path. The tsunami killed an estimated 11,000 people, injured 4,100 people, and covered an area of 2,813 square miles.
That's crazy.
And that's
Holy
kind of
crap.
hard to like just to, like when you think about it, you're like, man, that's a big area, but to like actually see it happen
Yeah.
is insane. Because I've seen video footage of this tsunami that went in.
Mhm.
It's terrifying. Terrifying.
That's crazy, dude. Mm-mm.
So water went 6 miles inland, and people are still missing to this day. It was an awful disaster. The cleanup from all the nuclear waste could take up to 30 years. The villages close to the plant and nearby towns are totally empty. They're pretty much ghost towns now. And now here's where things get weird. Not too long after the disaster, survivors began to see the faces of victims in puddles. Some claim to have seen people that have died in the tsunami wandering along the beaches. And some even say they have even had the victims appear at their door.
What?
Like, yeah, these are people that are saying, um, you know, like you're driving down the road and you see someone walking, just like anywhere else, people walking the road, and they're like looking, and they just see somebody that they know has died in the tsunami. And a lot of times they say that it's not just somebody that they've recognized. The way they can also tell is they're wet. They're all wet. From head to toe, they're like dripping wet.
That's absolutely crazy.
It's creepy as
Oh
fuck.
man. But okay, now here we are on this subject now. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you have a place or a yeah, when you have a place that has suffered a great cataclysm, like a quick and massive loss of life, like I believe there's spirits that are not at rest. Same thing for like old battlefields. Same thing. Like when there's a massive loss of life in one place, I definitely feel like I think that's believable. I think that's possible because all these
That's
a lot of
always the case.
yeah, it's
That's always the case, and I
I
believe that 100% that if there is a big disaster, um, wars, famine, something like that, that yes, anybody that dies, especially if it's in thousands of people, hundreds of people, I believe that there's going to be some kind of uh, uneasy presence there. It's not going to, you
yeah
know what I mean? Because they died, they
now
didn't want to die. They didn't die
no
willingly. They died suffering,
yeah
and
now
I'm sure they. When you
would
get
that
deeper into the
be
story, it kind of goes into that a bit.
would that be as far as ghosts are concerned? This is probably the most recent ghost sighting. Like these ghosts are not that old. You know what I
No,
mean? Like
no,
usually
I
ghosts are
maybe
old.
older, right? But maybe this is one of. Okay, I see what you're saying. They're not like old ghosts. These are like
Yeah.
fairly newer ghosts.
Yeah, like
And
these ghosts
what's
at one point had cell phones.
right? Well, what's crazy too is that the grandkids, when they get older, are going to see these young ghosts and kind of freak out and be like, who are
What?
these people? Where are they coming from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a creepy thought too, because they're not, like you said, they had driver's license, they had cell phones, they had
Yeah.
email addresses,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. These are like
So
the
yeah,
new age ghosts opposed to the ones that everyone's used to seeing in like movies and shit. It's like
right.
with the colonial type, like their colonial
Muskets.
like muskets and shit like that. It's like no, these guys were on their phones and shit. Like they're different. So anyway, that's interesting because I think on one episode I was like, how come they're always old? How these are all like from like the 1800s, 1700s, or older. Like there's no
Well,
new ghosts, and I guess this is it. This is the
right. This is part of them. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Um, well, okay. So speaking on that, I wonder if people that have died in like a mass shooting, if there's ever some kind of spirit in that nature, because they definitely died in. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I just don't see it happening for like a
It,
mass
you
shooting.
don't hear reports. You don't really hear report. You
Yeah.
don't hear people saying that, but now maybe not. I don't
Well,
know. But this definitely was a big disaster. So
yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not. So there have been various accounts and stories of paranormal experiences and ghost sightings following the devastating earthquake and tsunami and nuclear disasters that struck Fukushima. Here are just a few supposed real counts of some that have been reported by individuals in the aftermath of those events. So, one account comes from a survivor who witnessed something otherworldly amidst the chaos and destruction. It happened the night after the tsunami hit. He said, I was walking through the wreckage, trying to find any sign of life and hope anywhere under any of these houses and buildings. But the streets were eerily quiet, and a heavy fog seemed to settle in over everything. As I made my way through the ruins, I suddenly caught the sight of a figure standing near a crumbled building. At first, I thought it was just a person, but as I approached, I realized something was off. The figure had an eerie glow and seemed to float slightly above the ground. And I saw this, I was and when I saw this, I was frozen dead in my tracks. So much I was unable to look away. Its eyes were black, like a void, just empty, and it emitted an aura of great sadness. I just can't explain what it is I saw, but it sent shivers down my spine. The devastation of the Fukushima disaster seemed to have awakened something otherworldly, and by no means is this the only reported sighting or encounter of something strange. Another strange and unexplained story has to do with some of the local taxis around that area. The disaster had destroyed so many buildings, and a lot of the people had no choice but to relocate. And taxis would struggle with work because there just weren't enough people to ride the taxis now. And a lot of the cab drivers aren't really willing to come forward to talk about it. But one cab driver was, and his encounter happened about 4 or 5 months after the tsunami. He said he was driving around and when he saw a young man about in his 20s standing there waiting for a cab. The young man was wearing a thick coat, a little odd to be wearing this type of coat in August, but did not pay too much attention to it, and the young man got in and told him where to take him. As they were driving, the cabbie just felt something strange. He had an uneasy feeling, but not sure what it was. The passenger didn't say anything, and it was quiet, and it was a quiet ride. When they arrived, the driver looked in the rearview mirror and found no one sitting back there. He was spooked and hopped out of the cab to see no one was around. As weird as that was, many other cab drivers would report similar encounters with their meters running to log their trips in all of these cases. As it kept happening and word got around, the cab drivers some also lost loved ones in the tsunami would gladly pay for the trips and welcome these ghosts with open arms out of a sign of respect and would gladly give them a ride again. So basically, they were picking up ghosts and taking them to where they wanted to go that day.
That's nuts. But here, okay, like you already have like the Japanese culture is rooted in a lot of spiritualistic stuff, like a lot of ancestral. What am I talking about? Like for them, they're no. I feel like they don't view them as ghosts; they view them as spirits and
Mm-hmm.
spirits of different family members and stuff. And they have more respect for their dead. If that makes any sense, I don't know how to. If I'm
No,
saying
no,
it
no, no.
right,
I get you. Yeah, you are. I'm
yeah,
totally with you on that. Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
they
They kind of
that
would
is
like,
a
they're not going to get freaked out about it. They might get
yeah,
freaked out about it, but they kind of like say, "Oh, well, let me help him get to this
yeah,
building or this street or this place to help guide him and get him across to the other side," if that's what the case is,
yeah, exactly.
right?
They're not like, oh shit, it's a ghost. They're like, okay,
Right.
you're
No.
obviously a spirit. Like
Right.
like I feel like that's more ingrained. Like you're visited by a spirit, you're lucky. It's like I don't know what it is, but because they have like these and I'm gonna hopefully not piss off everyone. They're like shrines to their loved ones that have passed on. Like in their house. I feel like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
No.
and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I I think when you're connected to loved ones that have passed on and you are I guess commemorating their like memory all the time, you're
Mm-hmm.
like susceptible to seeing those apparitions. You're more susceptible to seeing those apparitions once in a while. I just feel like it. If you're tapped into like this is for their spirit, this is their spirit's not at rest, you're into that, I guess that veil between your mind and the spirit world is very thin, and
Mm-hmm.
you're probably more susceptible to seeing that kind of stuff.
Probably.
That's I guess what I'm trying to say. You
No,
know,
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I get what you're trying to say. Yeah.
um, and they
Because I
they
think they're
treat
they're they're more open to that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's not
yeah,
so taboo, I guess. Is that like
yeah.
the right word to say? It's not so
I would say
taboo to
so.
to
Yeah.
to like
Say you say a
um
ghost.
right, but it's like it's not malicious. It's not,
No,
it's not
no.
going to try, it's not trying to do you harm. You're just out of respect. Again, you're trying to just get them to where they're going to be in peace.
And
It's out of
that's
respect. It's a big
uh,
respect thing. That's
yeah,
what
it
it seems
is.
like. It
It's like
could be
ingrained
wrong.
from the
Yeah.
beginning of their culture. It's like massively ingrained. Um, and then on top of it, I'm wondering because think about this. All of us are essentially energy. We're all energy. We have energy in our bodies. Like when we
Mhm.
pass on, the energy goes somewhere else. I believe that. Whether what you believe is up, that's you. But at the end of the day, our bodies are insane. We have energy in us. We're part of this crazy universe, right? What happens when you take that energy and multiply it by how many people passed away instantly? That's a loss of
Right.
that much energy. And then on top of it, you have nuclear energy, radiation, and shit in the air
Right.
too.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
have all this stuff that's bombarding this possible veil between living and death, you know, I'm pretty positive shit would get a little weird.
Right.
Shit would
Right. It
either
has to. I mean, it just has to.
like everyone dies, there's nuclear radiation, you're gonna see some stuff. You
Yeah.
know,
I
it's
mean,
either
these ghosts are like
it,
amplified by 1,000. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, that's what I think that's what it is. I think maybe with all this happening, plus the nuclear fallout, all this kind of craziness, it amplifies that whatever it is. It's like a right out of Ghostbusters. You know, it's like
Yeah.
fucking it makes it more intense.
Definitely.
So
100%. So one monk explained that in Japanese culture, or the way Japanese look at death, it's like a shoji. Shoji is one of those paper sliding doors. Basically, you know how they have their houses. It's the sliding doors that
yeah,
they have. It's made out of paper. So once you open the sliding door, you go through to the other side, and the living can still see you through it. There was one story of a woman who was home alone and preparing dinner. She heard a knock on the door. She wasn't expecting at that time and thought maybe her guest was just a little early. She went to open the door, and there in front of her was a young man whose clothes were soaked from head to toe. He asked her if she could spare some dry clothes. She, of course, said yes. Got him a dry pair, gave it to him. He thanked her, and then she closed the door. On another night, a woman who said she had an encounter with lost spirits before was on her way home when she was unexpectedly stopped by a group of young men who she could tell were not alive and had obviously been victims of the tsunami. She said the young men didn't know that they had died. She was compelled to stop. She asked them, "What happened?" One of the boys said they just wanted to go home, but they were lost. She said she had to explain to them what had happened and that they were no longer alive. She wanted their suffering to end. They just walked and disappeared into the light, which is weird, right? I mean, that's kind of creepy.
that
Like,
yeah,
see, they know they in Japanese culture, obviously, because the guy's telling you, they know that these things can happen, and instead of being scared and running away, they actually try to help them. The lady's
yeah,
saying, "Hey, sorry guys, this is what happened. You guys are all dead, and we need you
yeah.
to try to move
Move
on."
on.
Right? They help, and
That's
the other lady helped to help that one kid. She noticed, she
yeah.
knows he's all soaking wet. Gives him dry clothes. He changes and he leaves, and he's on his way. You know.
But does he ever change? You know what I mean? Like, does he change, or does he just take the dry clothes and then
That's
just
the question. That's
like,
the question. Well, maybe he changes, and as soon as he puts it on, it's all just wet again.
yeah, and then he goes to the next house. You know, like
Could be.
I
Yeah.
don't
I mean, it's a never-ending cycle.
yeah. But that's kind of crazy too. I mean, you think about it, because it happened so swiftly. It happened like the string of
Mm-hmm.
events. We're talking about within an hour. You have your earthquake, your tsunami, and your nuclear power plant failure.
Just
Right?
goes up. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just
I
one
mean, it
after
was a
the
lot.
other.
And I mean, what's crazy is when you think about it too, you either died from the earthquake, the tsunami, or the fallout. You get radiation poisoning, you
Yeah,
die. It's like if you were
yeah,
lucky enough to survive one, then hopefully you were lucky enough to survive the next two or the next
yeah.
one.
And it's like
Something
if
else.
you,
You either
yeah,
survive the earthquake, but
it's
then you got
like
to survive the tsunami and the fallout, survive the all that
yeah, you have to
radiation.
survive the
So
tsunami and
hopefully,
the radiation. Like Jesus, that's crazy, man. I couldn't
right.
imagine it. Like
So
the perfect trifecta disaster.
yeah, it's like the perfect storm,
Yeah,
except without Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, or George Clooney.
Right, or George Clooney. So This last story supposedly happened about a year after the tsunami. The government had built a relief center to organize the cleanup, to take care of the construction stuff, like that. In this office building, this one man showed up for his first day of work. Everything seemed normal enough. It was just your typical office day. But at 3 p.m., one of the phones began to ring. The new guy noticed it and just kept ringing and ringing. No one seemed to really pay attention to it, and everyone seemed to be caught up with whatever it was that they were doing. But the guy looked around and asked, "Is anyone going to answer the phone?" No response. Nobody answered him. Um, he leaned over to one of his coworkers and asked, "Hey, should I pick it up?" His coworker just shrugged him off and ignored him. Just kept doing what he was doing. The next day, same thing, normal day, up until 3. The phone started to ring. Oddly, no one was paying attention to the ringing phone. The new guy thought, well, since I'm the new guy, I'll probably just supposed to pick up the slack. So he decided to go over and pick it up. As soon as he did, everyone just stopped doing what they were doing and just watched him. But as soon as he picked it up and put the phone to his ear, he knew why no one wanted to pick it up. As soon as he said hello, what he heard sent shivers down his spine. The voice on the other end was trying to talk, but couldn't quite make out what he was saying. The person on the other end sounded like they were trying to talk underwater.
Oh my God.
It sounded like he was asking for help. So after this happened a few more times, they finally tried to track where the call was coming from and sent police to see if they could try to help. When the police got to the location, no one was there, but the number was from a public payphone that was washed away in the tsunami. The phone booth wasn't even there. It didn't exist anymore. Some say because of the way these people had died so unexpectedly, these spirits are restless and are just wandering around lost, trying to find their way home, wherever that might be.
My God.
And that concludes our episode
Man.
of the ghosts of the Fukushima disaster.
That is, you know what? It shouldn't even be Fukushima disaster. It should be Fukushima disasters with a big S at the end.
Big old, yeah, everything's lowercase except for that S.
The S, man. Holy crap, dude. Like, that's a bad Monday right there, dude.
I'll tell you what, when I was reading some of these stories, the way they described them, I mean, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone was scared. It's almost like they expected it kind of to happen.
Again, in their culture, they're more open, more willing to say, hey, this thing's happened. We accept it. We deal with it. I'm sure they do have spirits or entities that do have that malice that they want to, they want to hurt somebody, they want to hurt them and stuff like that. But for the most part, if they know like something like this, they probably know that they're less likely to try to hurt them. They just want to get to rest. They want to have peace.
And it's what, when you come across this, like these energies out there, you can tell right away what the intent of this being is, because you get that like almost that anxious feeling when there's something that possibly wants to harm you. You get a weird vibe, a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Like, you can sense it, because a lot of times, like, you'll get that feeling when you walk into a place you're not familiar with. You're like, ooh, something's weird. And then you have to get the F out of there,
Yes.
But you sense that you can't explain why. And I feel like the same goes for like these entities. If you approach them and you're like, hair stands up on the back of your neck and you get this fight or flight feeling, that's probably not good. So I'm assuming that these spirits or these entities didn't give the people that vibe. More like that, what that one guy said, or that one person said, it was like a sorrowful vibe, like a sorrowful energy of like that aura of sadness. And like,
because I mean, they knew that a lot of people had died unexpectedly. Not the guy in the phone booth. died trying to make a phone call.
Yeah.
The water just hit him, or not even that he was trying to make a phone call. He probably went in there thinking he would probably survive when the wave hit.
Yeah.
He was just trying to survive.
There's nothing else you could do. That's probably the only structure that he could get to in time.
Yeah, it was just out of desperation.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's my biggest fear. I know that sounds crazy. One of my biggest like unhinged fears is like tsunami, tidal wave stuff. Like there's nothing you can do at that point.
Definitely.
Like, let's say a big ass meteor hits the ocean. That thing, I feel like I looked it up. Here in the US, we're kind of sort of fortunate that if, let's say, a big enough waves hit, a big enough, I guess, a big enough wave hits the East Coast, the Appalachians will act as a break, and it'll break into
kind of
in the Midwest, and over here on the Pacific side, you have the Rockies that acts like a break for massive tidal waves. So,
right,
and then right nestled in the middle of the United States is the effing super volcano. So it's like,
yeah, that's like great.
No, just like we're on the same playing field. Everything is just terrifying.
Yeah, we're getting there.
But yeah, man,
anyway,
it's a crazy story.
It was crazy, yeah, man. So the Duendes, we have the Duendes. We got the little guys that hang out at Home Depot, and then we got the ghosts, these ghost beings. I wonder if they still are seeing the ghost. I mean, they have to still be seeing the ghosts over there.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a massive loss of life that it's like almost incalculable. The only way you know someone's missing in a disaster is if friends or family declare them missing. What happens when a whole lineage of people is wiped out? With like, let's say you're around your family, you live in a family home, all your like grandmother, grandfather's all in one home, right? You only had like siblings, everything there, entire line wiped out. How are you gonna find that? You know what I mean? How are you gonna find them? They're gone. They're just part of the missing.
So. True. Oh man. But hey, thanks, Daniel, for joining me tonight.
Yeah, man.
And exploring these strange things,
these enigmatic tales.
Yeah. And one of these days we'll catch enough guinea pigs. Yeah, we've got to save them all. But hey, look, I just got this information. So when you guys hearing this, you should have enough time to possibly join us if you want. So on May 18th, which is in like another week or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. In Frederick, and this is a free event, is the Middletown Snallygaster Festival.
Get out of here. Hold on. What?
Yes.
May 18th in Middletown.
Middletown, Maryland. The price is free. It's from 11 to 6:30 p.m. It is the Snallygaster Festival.
Oh my God.
So for you guys who have been listening to the channel since the beginning, Snallygaster is Maryland's
hero.
Nessie. Yeah,
it's like the Ray Lewis of cryptids.
Cryptids for Maryland. Yeah, because it's ours. So
it's ours.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So we might try to get to go there. We're gonna try to see if we can make it there. I just want to let you guys know that. But throwing that out there real quick, I want to just say thank you again, Daniel, for joining us. Please, everybody, remember to do all the stuff you're supposed to be doing when you come to our channel. Thank you. Anybody new that's joining us, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoy it. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, share. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Remember, if you do have any, if you have anything you want to talk about, what is that? The real AFfiles at Gmail?
Yes.
Is that what I said?
AFfiles at gmail.com. And if it's not yours, then we're just spamming someone else's.
The real AFfiles at gmail.com. Pretty sad. I don't remember our email address. but it is therealfiles@gmail.com. If you want to just send pictures, oh my gosh, Allie always sends suggestions. She's sending pictures, and they're actually they're great. They're great. Keep them coming.
Yes.
Keep them coming, please. We do appreciate it. I've been kind of busy, so sorry if I haven't gotten back to you on any of those emails, people. But
yeah, well,
please.
We're busy, man. We're busy. We're busy.
We're busy.
We're trying to make it work.
Yeah. This isn't our job yet. Okay?
Correct.
We're trying to make it our job. So
that would be awesome.
That'd be great. And remember, everything, the more people that join us, the better the channel can be. And we're trying to be
and the more guinea pigs saved. Yeah, more guinea pigs saved.
Every
that's what it's
subscribers.
About. That's what it's about.
It's the guinea pigs.
Yeah. Yep. Raise the guinea pig.
Thank you all again.
Yep.
Right. We're saving one guinea pig at a time. Thank you all for joining us. Daniel, thank you. Until next time. Oh, don't forget, we will have some shorts coming your way too next week.
What?
Soon.
Yes.
We got some more. We got some more coming.
Yep.
All right, let's get out of here. Daniel, thank you.
Yep.
Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time. Peace, everybody.
In a world of shadows and hidden truths, we search for answers, we chase the clues.